Let's look at a moment at the topic of cynicism. Cynics. I remember the story of a woman that was holding her child in England by the ocean. Two sailors are standing next to her. A big wave comes and whips that son out of her arms and is taken out to sea, and these two sailors jump in and they go and rescue that boy, and they come up to this woman and said, "Ma'am, here's your son." And she says, "Where's his hat?" Kind of cynical to think about a person that is thinking about things like that at a time that their child is saved. But anyway, I remember that guy who fell off a cliff, and halfway down toward the bottom, he said, "Well, so far, so good." But there's so much cynicism in this world today. I read something recently where the most unrealistic person in the world is the cynic, not the dreamer. Hope only makes sense when it doesn't make sense to be hopeful. How true. I remember a man who was looking at all of the cynicism in the world, and he was looking particularly, and how many people do you know that are so put off by what other people think of them? What other people are thinking about them? Who was it that said recently, people who are put off by what others are thinking about them are really barking up the wrong tree, because other people really aren't thinking about them at all. And it was a man on the day before he died told me from his deathbed, "Here is the motto in my life, is what you think about me is none of my business." And this man, in business and in all kinds of things, and with a wonderful family, confronted the world as someone who's not going to be diminished or put down by many of the put downs that came to him out there in the midst of the world. A good friend of mine who died 20 years ago, and on his deathbed he said to me that a cynic is someone that used to be positive, but he no longer wants to be disappointed. Cynicism. We have no time for it in this world. Produces nothing good. And we might think about that time that we're tempted to be cynical about everything in the world, that in fact it doesn't produce anything but worry and pain for ourselves and far less for other people. Cynicism. A person who used to be positive but no longer wants to be disappointed. Let's give it up and enter into the life that has far more joy than what we can see and feel in the cynic life. I'm Richard Wing. This is 3 Good Minutes. I am wishing you all the very best. Amen.